4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And we begin with live pictures from the federal courthouse in New York City. That's where the jury in the Diddy trial has reached a partial verdict in the case. We've just learned that they have reached a decision on 4 of the 5 charges. However, the judge plans to order the jurors to go back, keep deliberating on the 5th charge, saying 2 days is just too soon to give up on trying to reach a verdict on all counts.
Since this is a federal case, cameras are not allowed in the courtroom, so we can't bring that verdict to you live. But we are closely monitoring proceedings and will bring you the decision just as soon as that information becomes available.
Now to our other top story tonight.
Headed to trial.
On a scale of being 0% certain who shot you to 100% certain who shot you, how certain are you that the person shot at you was the defendant?
200%.
The victim in the shooting at Corwell Troy Beaumont Hospital takes the witness stand and reveals what he thinks set the suspected shooter off.
That's the testimony coming out today at a preliminary hearing. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. After the victim testified, the judge in the case ordered Robert Palusevic to go to trial. Pamela Osborne is following this story for us tonight. Pamela, the victim wasn't the only person who took the stand.
Yeah, we did hear from some police officers today as well, but the victim at the center of this, Tyler Matoin, he was wringing his hands in court today as he testified about this friendship that turned bad and quite literally almost cost him his life.
Hey, officers out here, we currently have an active shooter in the parking structure.
Months later, we're finally getting our first look at the chaos that unfolded inside of Corwell Health Troy on March 20th.
Has anyone been shot or injured? Yes, there is a victim.
The victim, Tyler Matoin, coming face to face with Robert Palusevic, identifying him as the former friend and co-worker who gunned him down as he ended his shift. Prior to, he says they were close, like brothers, and would often hang out outside of work. But things changed when his father passed in December.
There was a conversation that took place between Robert and I where Robert had said that he would talk to my dad and he would say, like, you know, I wish I could have met you, but your son wouldn't invite me to the funeral.
Matoin says the aggression continued.
On that call, I vocalized that I no longer wanted to continue this friendship. I didn't want to view each other as brothers.
The two still work the grave shift at Corwell Health, and in February they met for coffee, Matoin thought, to close things out. It was friendly at first, but the conversation deteriorated. They went their separate ways, but Matoin's phone rang. It was Palusevic on FaceTime.
He said, "Hey, look at the, can you see my screen?" And I looked at the phone, and it was my father's prayer card, which on one side has a picture of Jesus, on the other side has a prayer, and Robert was urinating on it. And he was urinating on it, and then he threw it in the toilet, and then I saw it flush.
That was the final straw for Matoin. He describes other uncomfortable encounters prior to March 20th. He talked about that morning, too.
I immediately thought this could be my last moment.
Matoin said Palusevic had parked next to him. He was getting into his black SUV when Robert walked up, said "What's up?" and started shooting. 5 shots went through his windshield as he ducked for cover. Then
he comes around the driver's side of the car where my door is still open, and a few more shots are discharged. And then I heard like of a gun, so I heard clicks, which indicated to me that either the gun had jammed or the gun was out of bullets.
He says Palusevic walked back towards his vehicle. The prosecutor says Matoin ran into the hospital for safety, barely escaping with his life.
It is reasonable to infer that his intent was to kill Tyler on that date when he shot multiple times into the vehicle.
Matoin was shot in the arm as well as the shoulder. He was also grazed by one of those bullets. As for Palusevic, he's facing an assault with intent to murder charge as well as 2 other gun-related charges relating to this shooting. He is still in jail tonight, but coming up at 6 o'clock, you're going to hear about the issue of bond because that did come up in the courtroom today. You'll hear what the judge had to say about that in the next hour. For now, reporting live in Troy, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
Okay, we'll see you again in just a little bit. Pamela, thank you. In more news tonight, the battle over World War II era nuclear waste being trucked here to Michigan is now in the hands of a judge.
As it stands right now, the plan is to bring contaminated soil from a site near Niagara Falls to the Wayne Disposal Facility in Van Buren Township. Let's get out to Lauren Kostick tonight with the latest. Lauren, people in surrounding communities are keeping a very close eye on this, and it seems they may have to wait even longer for a decision now.
That's right, Ty and Kimberly. And to be clear, that atomic waste we're talking about, it has not made its way here to Metro Detroit just yet. It's been on hold for more than a year now, tied up in the courts here. And many were expecting the judge to issue a decision about all this today, only for it to be delayed.
We ask you to extend the TRO to a preliminary injunction.
After 50 minutes of closing arguments and an off-the-record conversation, the judge in the case ending the hearing, telling attorneys he is delaying his decision to further review the arguments.
All rise.
Many in the audience confused, expecting an answer today.
Yeah, disappointed we don't have a decision, but I think both sides presented their case.
Janine Rippey is one of hundreds pushing back against the Van Buren Township landfill. In September, a lawsuit was filed after Wayne Disposal agreed to accept contaminated soil and rubble from a Manhattan Project disposal site out of New York. Residents saying it puts them in danger, but attorneys for the landfill disagree.
There's no exposure concern, not only within the landfill for the workers, but at the perimeter of the landfill.
However, residents still want the material to go elsewhere.
There's one in Clive, Utah with a 10-mile population of one person. We have 365,000 people living within 10 miles of this facility. It's the worst place on the planet for this to go.
The judge expects to make a decision in the coming weeks.
We know it's going to take time, but we have confidence that our legal system will work in a way that will protect the rights of our citizens and the health and safety of our community.
And this is far from the only thing residents have been pushing back on. The landfill is also looking to expand vertically, and we did tell you about that last month. So we checked back in with state regulators today, and they tell us they still have not reached a final decision on that. Reporting live in downtown, Lauren Kostick, Local 4.
All right, appreciate the update, Lauren. Thank you. Now to this, a suspected bank robber gets busted in Detroit after attacking someone with an axe.
How bizarre. It all went down inside the PNC Bank on Northwestern Highway in Southfield. We're told the accused robber didn't get away with any cash, but did hurt a woman inside the bank. That woman, though, is expected to be okay. No word on how cops tracked down the alleged robber, but we are expecting to learn his name and charges here very, very soon. A major intersection in Chesterfield Township is back open tonight after a serious crash sent 2 people to the hospital. Police say a 34-year-old St. Clair man driving a Ford Escape slammed into a turning vehicle at 23 Mile and Sierra, causing that SUV to roll and hit 4 more cars. In total, 6 vehicles were involved, with 2 people hospitalized. Anybody with information is urged to contact Chesterfield Township Police.
All right, let's go to live pictures of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Today, President Trump's one big, beautiful bill cleared the Senate. As Monica Alba shows us, the bill is now headed to the House for approval.
After 27 hours and 48 amendment votes, the most in history, Senate Republicans crossed the finish line.
The bill as amended is passed.
President Trump's signature tax cuts and spending bill passing by just 1 vote, a tiebreaker cast by Vice President J.D. Vance after 3 Republican senators voted no. Republican leaders spent the night tweaking the so-called big, beautiful bill to win just enough support to get it passed without Democratic votes.
And since we took office in January, Republicans have been laser focused on achieving the bill before us today. And now we're here.
Longtime holdout Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska ultimately voted yes, ensuring the bill's passage.
I tried to take care of Alaska's interests, but I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that.
The bill extends President Trump's 2017 tax cuts and cuts Medicaid and food stamp programs to increase military spending and border enforcement. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates it will increase the national debt by more than $3 trillion and could strip health insurance from 12 million people.
This is not what the country needs. This is not what the American people want.
After leaving his government post a month ago, billionaire Elon Musk is back. threatening primary challenges for Republican lawmakers who voted for the president's bill, arguing it spends too much. Today, President Trump fired back.
We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Musk replying he won't escalate his conflict with the president for now. President Trump said he wants to sign the spending bill on the 4th of July, and House leadership has indicated they're going to vote on the Senate version tomorrow to try to meet that deadline. But passage is not guaranteed. Some Republican House members are concerned about how much this bill is projected to increase the national debt. Monica Alba, NBC News, Washington.
Coming up at 5:30, we're going to break down what the bill means for families who are already struggling to make ends meet. We'll also have reaction from local lawmakers and what they think about the bill.
All right, now to the weather, and the sun is shining as we take a beautiful look outside from our Windsor sky cam. After a rocky few days here, things seem to be quieting down, heading into the 4th of July.
It's beautiful out there. It's a great day to get outside. Just a few puffy clouds, as you saw, and a lot of sunshine.
Let's get over to forewarned meteorologist Brett Collar in for Kim tonight.
A lot of lawnmowers going this evening, so if you haven't done it yet, the grass is getting a little longer. Now is the time, because the humidity is set to return here fairly soon. In the meantime, we're enjoying these numbers. A lot of us in the low to mid 80s, right where we should be this time of the year. But I want to show you this number. This is the dew point. A little bit of science behind this. This is the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. Last week, these numbers were in the 70s, really muggy air mass. Now they're in the upper 50s and low 60s. The air mass is drier and the humidity is down, so it feels a lot nicer. But that changes, though, this weekend. What's not going to change this evening is just the very pleasant conditions that we have. There is some rain up in parts of the UP moving through Lake Superior. That may spawn 1 or 2 showers tomorrow, but for us this evening, all great. Lower 80s, eventually dropping into the 70s. A quick peek at your 4th of July forecast. It's going to be toasty, but it does look like we should stay dry. But rain may impact part of the weekend. We'll talk about when in just a bit.